it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face and our stuffed after Thanksgiving show. Big Brian, what's going on, brother? How was your Thanksgiving?
Well, it was fantastic. I tell you what, up until last night, it was pretty much perfect.
Well, yeah, last night would have capped it off for you. I needed it to cap it off for me, but that didn't happen. So. No, Thanksgiving was great. I hope everybody else had a blessed and safe Thanksgiving with their family and friends or whatever you were doing. Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face. We are part of Network 216. We are brought to you by Harold Keeler and Lake Erie APA, also City Dogs Cleveland. We still have a dog that is been in the kennel way too long and needs to be adopted tonight for our trivia. Also, I believe, what is this? Thankful Tuesday or whatever. Is it today? It's one of these days coming up where you can donate. I put on my Facebook page personally, trying to raise $500 for City Dogs Cleveland. So if you could please help donate to them, it is on my Facebook page. Try to raise some money and help out City Dogs Cleveland. But other than that, Bri, it's been kind of a low-key weekend. We've had some fights. We had some flag pulling. We've had some Poseidon's arches stabbed in the middle of a field. You name it, we've had it. It's been an eventful week for sports. So we're going to talk Ohio State, Michigan tonight. We are going to talk Browns. We're going to talk Cavs. We're going to get into our after Thanksgiving food, talk about leftovers and all that stuff from Thanksgiving. And then we're going to do our top 3 wide receivers, Browns wide receivers since 1999. And Bri, do you have any shout outs to start out our show tonight?
No, I think probably a lot of the shout outs I got it. Well, I'm sure we'll get into when we recap the festivities of the weekend. So I'll just maybe save it for that.
Justin said he hasn't watched TV since Saturday. I tried not to watch TV since Saturday.
Smart.
No, the only shout outs I got is my family. We had a great time down in West Virginia. Want to thank all of them down there. We had a blast. Food was fantastic. Playing some games and stuff, shooting some orb guns out in the night sky down in West Bygod, Virginia. It was a good time. Plus seeing Daddy. Daddy always cracks me up, 86 West Virginian down there, and it's like, hey, you want to go shoot some guns? Yeah, I do. So
sounds like a good time.
So, good time down there. And then also my family, I called them on Thanksgiving. They were all down in Columbus, so got a hold of all of them. Chris did the trifecta again. He did a rotisserie turkey breast, deep fried one, and a regular oven roasted turkey. So they had a huge food. We are having problems right now streaming on Facebook. So if you're watching us on other streams right now, just hop over to our YouTube channel and catch us there. Just search for @Ham Illegal or search Illegal Ham to the Face, and it'll pop right up. But other than that, Bri, it was definitely a fun time. Everybody was safe. We did get 48 inches of snow just north of us over in Ashtabula County.
Yeah,
I think there was one spot that recorded 52 inches of snow, Bri. They shut down 90 between Ashtabula and Buffalo. I think it was on Saturday night into Sunday. Yeah, it wasn't pretty up here. We had Snowmageddon, but it didn't hit Cleveland near as hard as it hit everywhere else. And thank for the first responders and everybody out there doing the snow. Like I saw their drone footage, Bri. They did drone footage over top of 90. They had skid steers like we have at work, except their snowblower, the chute on the snowblower is like 9 feet high. So it can shoot all the way out and over. I was like, holy cow, look at this monstrosity. So for everybody that was out doing the snow plows and all that stuff, thank you guys for trying to keep the roads clear and keep that up. And we know it's hard. Brian and I have done it for years at our work and driven in that stuff for I don't even know how long, Brian. So we know what it's like. And, thank you guys for everything you guys do with that. All right, Brian, let's get our show started.
Yeah.
And it's time for some trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And let me play the sounder as soon as I get my bearings down for a second. Hold on. Here we go. All right, our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. We still have a dog in the kennel that needs to get out of there. Ashlyn is still there. 2-year-old puppy, 55 pounds, longest resident there. It is going on now over 3 months. He has been there. Get this dog out of there for the holidays. Let him enjoy some pie. Let him enjoy some biscuits. Let him enjoy some Christmas ham. And let him know that the ham boy sent you. How you like that treadway right there, Bri? You like that one, didn't you?
Dogs aren't supposed to have ham.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's not good for them.
Well, my dog has ham all the time, and that's why we call it. I thought it was chicken legs they were not supposed to have.
Well, anything with bones you're not supposed to have. But my wife and I were just talking about this the other day. I think it's more of the salt content in ham and like deli meats and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's the absolute worst thing for them, but yeah, feed them whatever. Dogs have short lives. They deserve to have good lives.
I mean, my dog had 2 pepperoni rolls. I'm pretty sure that she's had a raspberry pie. What else does she have? Definitely bacon. She just had a little venison not too long ago. There's another shout out, Big Matt.
That's good.
Brought me over a deer neck. Got a beautiful 8-point buck down in Coshocton County. Brought me back to deer neck, so I'm gonna have some roast here a little bit later. She had some of that, and she'll eat whatever she wants. The only thing I think we don't give her is like the chocolate. Everything else is fair game if it hits the floor.
Grapes also, I hear, are not good for dogs.
Yeah, she doesn't like those anyways.
Don't know why, but that's what I've heard.
All right, so please go adopt Ashlyn. It is my turn for trivia, Bri. And Bri, last night we had a couple of records broken during the Browns game. First record that was broken was your quarterback, Jameis Winston, throwing the most passing yards from Cleveland Brown, 497 yards, 6 total touchdowns. I count the interceptions as touchdowns too, Bri.
Right.
4-2. But also, David Njoku is now your leading receiving touchdown since 1999.
Okay.
Can you tell me the 2 people who are behind him, Bri?
2 people that he passed, so 2 and 3.
2 and 3. And also,
wow.
Also, that's receiving. Also, he was 3rd in total touchdowns behind what other 2? And one is currently on the team.
Right, that's easy. So 1, 2, he's 3rd, and then he's 1, 2. Okay. All right. That's tough. All right. Here we go.
James is here tonight. What's going on, James? James, I am sorry about the Facebook connection,
What's
buddy.
up, James?
Sometimes this kind of stuff happens. See if I can't get it going here. See if all that works and see if we can't get it going again. All right, Bryce. So there it is. Let's bump in the Cleveland headlines because we have a lot to get into. first off, we'll get into the good news for the weekend. Cleveland Cavaliers lost 2 in a row, but then came back and beat the Boston Celtics here in Cleveland. Brian, what a game that was for Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Definitely a marquee game. You're marking those down, and you think you got them, don't you? You got them locked in?
No. No, don't have them locked in. I'm just coming up with names, so I don't feel great. I mean, other than Nick Chubb, I don't feel great about any of them.
I'll give you that one. That's the bonus. Nick Chubb has got 56 total touchdowns for your Cleveland Browns. Leader since 1999. So, but no,
Got that one.
Cavs are still playing hot. They got a couple people injured. Ty Jerome. Brian, I don't know where this guy came from. I'm loving every minute of Ty Jerome playing. It reminds me of a Matthew Dellavedova kind of situation with this guy. I know we signed him last year. He was out all of last year with a knee injury. Came back, and, man, I'm telling you what, between him and Karis LeVert, they're both going to be running for the 6th man of the year because both of them are just playing fantastic. And I can't say enough about Donovan Mitchell. And, yeah, we had a game that was a little miscued from Darius Garland, and Boston tried to pick on him again. Right, he stepped up and played some defense, and he played some defense on Jason Tatum too. So how do you feel about the Cavs win over the Celtics and them being the top in the East right now? I think they're 18-3 in the East right now, leading the NBA also.
Yeah, this was probably the most challenging week for the Cavs. When you go on a 16 or 15 game win streak, and now we're 3-3 in the last 6 games, so we're 500. And so, I mean, the NBA season's far too long to think that everything's going to go great for you. So it was tough sledding against Atlanta a couple times this past week, and I think it sounds like I watched a little bit of the game on Wednesday night, and I think teams that have athletic, big wing players and guards are just going to give the Cavs some trouble. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to beat us every time, but, after seeing us drop 2 in a row to Atlanta, that gives you a little bit of pause, like, okay, maybe this team needs to be on our radar. And certainly the Celtics, great win. Donovan Mitchell, historic performance in the fourth quarter. But also, understanding the situation, they were without White. They were without the finals MVP and Jaylen Brown. So, yeah, it's great you get the win. I'm trying not to poo-poo it, as you can tell. But I'm not going to do backflips over it and announce that we've made it. It's going to be a battle every single time we play them. And we needed a heroic performance from Donovan Mitchell, and he stepped up when we needed him to. And how many times can he do that? I don't know. He might be able to do that every game in the 7-game series. I don't know. So I can't discount that. But at the same time, I think eventually he's going to get worn down. But yeah, great win. Great win for the Cavs, just beating the Celtics. I don't care. We're obviously not 100% either, so I'm not going to sit here and say it's only because they're a little banged up. Well, we're banged up too, so you still have to beat them. Even without those guys, they're still a very good team. They have Porzingis back too. So, yeah, good way to rebound after dropping to the Hawks. A hypothetical, I guess, that I was talking about with one of my brother's friends on Wednesday was, you mentioned Ty Jerome, and he's having an unbelievable start to this season, and he's kind of an unknown. He's kind of a guy he had a lot of hype coming out of college, and he's always been a solid player. I started thinking what if he keeps this up for the whole year? Now he's on a historic pace shooting the ball from 3-point land, so I don't know if he can keep that up for an entire year. But what if he keeps up his good play for an entire year? He's a free agent after this year. What do you do with him? He's going to cost a lot to bring him back. So what I was thinking was, I've been, and a lot of people have as well, been saying, hey, Garland and Mitchell are very much alike. So now you have an opportunity to bring in to keep a larger guard, 6'5", and maybe see if you can move on from Darius Garland. Would that be something you would be interested in if he keeps this up, in making him a max player or whatever we would have to pay him, maybe close to that if he keeps this up, and making him a part of our future and a starter for the Cavs?
That would definitely be a conversation to have. I mean, when we get closer to the trade deadline and see how.
Yeah, or even after the season. Yeah. Trade deadline or after the season.
No, I would definitely, that's something you got to think about, because right now, we pretty much do have almost 4 max players. With, the 4 that we have, the core 4, and, at some point in time, not going to be able to pay them all, man. And, we'll have to get rid of them. But, I mean, I would definitely see how this season goes with him, because, I mean, this is our first look really at him. But, I mean, if he keeps this pace up, I know it's historic. But, I mean, even if he, he's going to fall off a little bit. But even if he keeps his pace up, right, I mean, he's letting you know that he is a point guard and a shooting guard, and he can play both. And it would definitely help out this team a lot more, especially the way he plays defense too. So it's not like he's just an offensive player. So I would love to see it. Bri, as we move off to the Cavs, do you want to do our fans? I'm trying to save the horrible stuff here for later, because I just don't want to talk about the 2 things. And we do have our fantasy football league getting ready to go into the playoffs, and you're just smiling because I don't want to talk about it.
You're just hoping my phone dies before we get to it. I know.
Well, you should have charged it up. We have a show tonight.
Oh, I know. We're good.
Full battery. I mean, I'm trying to charge that thing for 3 days.
It might die if we go an hour and a half, but I think we're good up until then.
We'll be good. Just to recap, we are getting closer. We have 1 week left, and then the playoffs start for our legal Ham to the Face Fantasy Football League. And right now, Bri, we have 4 people that are eliminated from the playoff bracket. Number 1 is Runner. Chris Spann is out. Harold Keel is out. Team Big Meat is out. And Always Next Year is out of the playoffs. They are not playing for anything. But we do have 4 that are locked in, Bri. Team Big Rod, My Nicks in a Box, Honky Cat, and Portage County Prostitutes are all locked into the playoffs, which leaves, 2 spots left, Bri?
Top 6.
And fighting for those 2 spots are Big Bri, Phil McCracken, Craig Foster in the Dog Pound, and Michigan Fans Drink Boone's Farm. Gotta love Justin. Just changes his name every week.
You got to explain that one to me. What's Boone's Farm?
That's the cheap wine you get at the, at the store. Like the Arbor Mist wines and all that stuff.
Got to celebrate your big wins with something, right?
I mean, I'm surprised we're not getting champagne sent to us from coaches from Syracuse. I mean, that was brought up today. All right,
we'll get into that.
Oh, we're getting into it now. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this weekend, the big game happened. All right, Ohio State, Michigan. Michigan came out. I don't even think you guys got 100 yards total offense, but yet you still came out with a win.
173 rushing.
Not good, Brian. Yeah, you couldn't even pass the ball.
It was good. Oh, I know. Oh, Michigan is not. You're not going to get me here telling you that Michigan is a good team. Michigan is not a good team. They're not. Ohio State just choked bad. Choked bad.
Like, yeah, Brian, it was you were a three touchdown favorite in your house. Your house.
And Michigan didn't have their best player on defense, and Michigan didn't have their best player on offense. They're down their 2 best players, and so they had no business winning the game. Absolutely none.
I told you when we talked about this last week, I did not want a close game. I did not want a close game because of shit like this, Bri. Shit like this, I did not want a close game because you know something? You let a puncher punch, and especially the way Michigan does run the ball, you let a puncher punch. They're going to hit you with a gut punch at some point in time, and they're going to knock you back. And guess what? Buckeyes had them 3rd and long, And they ran the ball again and got 25 yards and got in a field goal range. And I about lost every marble I had. Thank God the kids were downstairs. I walked into my wife. I said, I don't want to talk about this, and walked right outside because at that point in time, I knew they lost the game, right? There was no coming back from that. Everybody's like, oh, they had so much time on the clock. Ryan Day has shown you when it comes to the last second stuff, he is not doing anything. Now, I have to ask you, right, because we've never talked about this. You know my feelings about Jim Harbaugh. I believe Jim Harbaugh is a good coach. He is quirky. He is weird as shit, but he's a good football coach. You, not being an Ohio State fan, not having anything to do with Ohio State and hating Ohio State the way you do. Now, I know you'd want to keep him because, you give you guys another 6 wins and be like John Cooper all over again. How do you feel about Ryan Day as a head coach?
He's fine. I don't think he's terrible. I mean, everyone, obviously, this week you're going to get a lot of people saying a lot of nasty things about Ryan Day. Ryan Day's a fine coach. Is he great? No, he's not great. Is he, Nick Saban? Is he Kirby Smart? Is he Jim Harbaugh? No, he's not. But he's fine. He's anywhere from 10th best coach in the country to the 30th best coach in the country. But, I mean, he has the nice things that so many coaches around the country don't have. That's why the term "born on third base" was coined, because he's given, what we used to say in the past is that given the keys to the Ferrari and just don't wreck it. And he's kept them, he hasn't wrecked it. I wouldn't say he's wrecked it because, other than Michigan, he's done fine. He's done a good job. Going toe to toe with Georgia a couple years ago, and beating Penn State the way he does every single year, and going toe to toe with Oregon this year. They're a good team. They're a top 10 team for sure. Probably top 5 talent wise, but yeah, his bugaboo's just beat Michigan. And I've told you before, last year, Michigan's team was just better. Ohio State fans don't want to admit it. Last year's Michigan team was just better than Ohio State. And even with Sherrod Moore coaching, they still found a way to get it done because they just have more talent. This year, you can't say that. Ohio State had so much more talent, as the spread would indicate. So what happened? I don't know.
I know what happened.
All right, you go first, and then I'll tell you what I think was going on.
All right, the 2 biggest strengths of Michigan this year were your guys' run game, because you guys can run the ball. I'm not saying you can't. You guys can run the ball. Also, that front line of yours, defensive line, is a stellar defensive line. They're a senior class. Okay? What does Ohio State normally do well? Spread them out. Throw the ball. Throw the screens outside. You have how many 5-star wide receivers that you could have thrown to? Instead, you bunched it up and you tried to punch Michigan in the mouth the way Michigan punched you last year, and it backfired on you. It backfired on you so bad that you let Michigan drop a safety in the box. You let Michigan bunch up instead of spreading them out and getting on the outside, and Michigan punched you in the mouth again in the trenches. And that's what happens during this game. You cannot go blow to blow with the best defensive line, probably in the NCAA right now. And you just tried to outman them, and you can't outman that defensive line. And that's what they tried to do. They tried to do it. They didn't try any outside zone runs. They didn't try anything outside. They tried to do everything between the tackles to push Michigan back. And guess what? Michigan's better than you at that. That's all it was, Bri.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what I was going to say. Ryan Day or whoever, and it's not a terrible thing to assume, but we've heard it, and it's an unbelievable stat. It really is. The team that rushes for more yards has won now 23 straight games. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable stat. Which it kind of makes sense because, well, the team that has the lead is going to be running the ball more and trying to drain the clock in the second half more. So that kind of makes sense that way. But for it to happen 23 straight years is just unbelievable. So, Ryan Day bought into that. like, hey, or Chip Kelly, I don't know, one of the two. Like, all we have to do is rush for more yards than Michigan, and we're going to win the game. And we're going to be able to stop them rushing the ball because we know that's all they can do. And really, I mean, as a Michigan fan, it was frustrating to watch. We're just running up the middle every single time and getting 1, 2, 3, 4 yards. And we just kept doing it like a hammer over the head. And I was getting frustrated. And then they would break one. You know, they finally put in their backup quarterback who's a mobile guy, kind of like a Justin Fields for the Steelers, where, you know, you have to account for him running the ball. And he broke one on you. I don't know why they didn't utilize that more. But yeah, the game script definitely favored Michigan. You know, had they fallen down by 10 or 14 points and now they have to throw the ball, they'd have been in a world of trouble. But they were always just kind of in the game. They had the lead for maybe, I don't think they ever trailed in the game, to be honest. Now that I think about it, they were always in the lead or tied. So, you know, that didn't make them uncomfortable. They could just keep running the ball and keep hitting you over the head. And Michigan's running game, honestly, last year was a ton better than their running game this year. And I think a lot of that because teams just stacked the box on them, but also the offensive line was young this year and they graduated pretty much their entire offensive line last year. But yeah, so yeah, Ryan Day fell in love with the idea, hey, all we have to do is outrush them and we win the game. And it's not that simple. Especially when you think of, yeah, Michigan sent, I think, 14 players to the NFL last year. They were very young this year on their team, but they did have, it was almost like, I think in fantasy football, we call it like studs and duds. Like they had a lot of duds, but they had a few studs. Like they have 4 guys that might be drafted in the first round. And I spoke to one, Loveland didn't play. Will Johnson, the cornerback, did not play. He'll be a first rounder. And then they have 2 other first rounders that did play. And guess where they're positioned? Right in the middle of that defensive line. So Michigan's 2 best players are positioned right in the middle of that defensive line. So why you would continue to run it right at their 2 best players, man, that makes no sense to me. Unless you just believe in this fantasy that if we just run for more yards, we automatically win the game. Let's just keep doing that. And so that, or the other theory would be Chip Kelly, Ryan Day, whoever just didn't trust Will Howard. You know, especially after he threw 2 picks or something like that. One pretty much handed Michigan a touchdon.
I'm surprised he actually came back after he got rocked on that one. I thought he had a concussion. I thought he was out of the game after he got that shoulder right in the ear hole. And Brian, I'm not even. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's targeting." I'm like, "That was a good hit." Like he dropped his shoulder. I don't know what you want to do there. It's not like he led with his helmet. I mean, he went straight with his arm and just popped him good. And but this game was so frustrating to me because, you know, all this time, you know, ever since that they have taken over, Brian, like this year, it was, we have the most NIL money spent. We got this guy from Alabama. We got this guy from Ole Miss. We got this guy. We got talent everywhere. Well, guess what? Talent doesn't win all the time because it didn't win this Saturday because Jeremiah Smith, I don't know where the hell he went to. He wasn't a factor in this game. Will Howard, for some odd reason, couldn't throw the damn ball at all. I don't even know what that was. It just like this whole game plan, everything was just. And then Bri, after the game, and we have to talk about after the game because that was a huge thing. I'm surprised they kept the cameras on after the game was over the way it was. And my biggest thing is okay, yes, Michigan, you won. More kudos to you. Yeah, spiking the flag right in the middle of the field during the Ohio State-Michigan game. I understand your fascination with that. Why don't you wait till the players actually go into the locker room and then you can do that? You did it right in front of everybody, which, hey, you won. More power to you. But you did not think that day with those seniors and after the loss that Ohio State just took after you beat them that they were going to be like, oh, yeah, it's okay, guys. Put the flag there. Yeah, that's – people got maced, Bri. There's pepper spray that was sprayed out, and it got ugly. And the one thing that I got more pissed off about than anything else out of that whole skirmish was you had Michigan coaches trying to pull their guys back. You had Ohio State coaches get beat up, pull back. I mean, everybody, it wasn't pretty for college football. Let's just put it that way. But then the one person that should have been grabbing people was just standing there looking back on camera going, what happened? What happened? And Ryan Day's just looking like a deer in headlights, not knowing what the hell is going on. And it's like, I start thinking back of Bo Schembechler would have been there pulling guys back or fighting. Woody Hayes would have been fighting in that. I know Urban would have been in it. I know Jim Tressel would have been in it. And have him just stand there and not even try to get his guys corralled up and pull him back. It was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're going to let this keep going? And you're running back. I am so proud of the balls on that guy because he even ran the flag right through the entire Ohio State team as he came back around for another victory lap. And then he goes on there and goes, oh, you had 4 quarters to fight. Well, you're instigating a little bit more, dude. Like, you
that wasn't the guy they interviewed was not the guy who was carrying the flag.
Are you sure? Because it looked like the guy that was carrying the flag.
No, it wasn't Mullins. Well, I don't know what interview you saw, I guess. The interview I saw was Mullins kind of saying, like, hey, we had 4 quarters to fight, and now they want to fight afterwards. No, I don't know what part he played in it, but I don't think he was the guy carrying the flag. But yeah, it's getting out of control, as you know. I mean,
Brian, it was
I feel like
this weekend.
Oh, right,
it wasn't
right.
Just
it's
Ohio
not
State. I mean, it was Arizona State did it. You know,
it happened,
BYU.
A handful of rivalry games. It happened earlier this year. Texas did it in the Big House at Michigan, and you know, they're going to have to do something. Either you have to ban flags on the field, or what they really should have done. And I know, being a Michigan fan, this would hurt Ohio State a lot more than it does Michigan. You have to go to the tape, dissect the tape, and start handing out suspensions for the kids that are involved. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to stop this from happening. You know, if you're involved in a skirmish at all, hey, if we catch you throwing hands or something like that, yeah, you're suspended. You're out for the day. It happens in the NFL. You know, so why shouldn't it happen at this level either? But yeah, I mean, they'll outlaw it. This will be the last of it because it's just, it's a black eye, and nobody. What's the point of it? You know, at the end of the day, you know, you plant a flag. I guess it's viewed as disrespectful, and I understand that. But it just gives these guys another opportunity to fight each other. So why would anybody want that? And
exactly,
I don't know. A big deal has been made of it, so maybe they're thinking like, well, no. What's the saying?
Bad publicity is always good press.
Right.
Or bad press is always good press.
Right. Whatever that is. Like, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So the fact that you're talking about it is good for their business. But yeah, it was unfortunate because, I mean, it really wasn't a good game to watch. It was a boring game. It was a sloppy game. Neither team, both defenses played pretty well, but neither offense really did much of anything. But it was a classic rivalry game. This is what rivalry games are all about. This is what makes rivalry games. When you have one team that's a huge favorite and everyone just assumes is going to waltz their way to victory, and they want to beat this team across them so badly, and the other team just comes up and you know, finds their superpower and knocks them off. And that's honestly that's what the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry has been lacking for quite some time now. Like, whenever the team is a big favorite, they always win.
But it's also been diversity too, because, you know, we've had, you guys are on your run now. It's 4 in a row now for you guys. And, you know, I keep seeing the 2020, you know, whatever. You could say 5, Brian. It's not 5. You guys dodged us in 20.
No. I'm raising my hand as I posted something about it. It's been 18,000 days or whatever.
Oh no, that's fine. But, you know, you still have the canceled game because of an outbreak that happened in Michigan. But, you know, it is what it is. And but you know,
I understand. I understand you bringing that up. That's all you have. That's all you have to grasp at for the last 5 years.
Well, and the thing is, though,
the cheating schedule. this cheating scandal too, but you can't really blame cheating this year.
No, God, no. No, you just got
Or
your ass
last
kicked
year.
this year. But, Bri, it was 10 years. Like, it was the Urban time before that. You know, you couldn't get past Urban. And you had your stretch of, but it's just frustrating as shit as a Buckeye fan because you knew, okay, in all hearts of hearts, did you think Michigan was going to win this game?
Of course not. No way.
Okay. So, but I couldn't come on here last week and go, yeah, they're a 21-point favorite. Brian, they're going to kick the shit out of you. I know better. You want to know why I know better? Because for some odd reason, Michigan is Ryan Day's kryptonite, and he forgets how to coach. And I don't know what it is about playing Michigan, and either A, you try to get too cute or too stupid with them. Doesn't help that the kicker missed 2 field goals. It just like, and it was just like, and it just snowballed from there, Bri. Like, I'm watching all that just come down. I'm like, all right, this is where it's going to happen. I'm like, if you stop him here on 3rd down and they got to kick a long field goal, we might come back and win this game. If not, it's over with. And then he broke that run, and Bri, I swear to God, as soon as he broke that run, I'm like, game's over. Game's over. There's no way you're coming back from it because no matter how high-powered your offense is right now, that defensive line would be rushing right up your face at Will Howard because they know you're going to pass because that's all you got now. You got nothing else. You have to throw the ball. And then also stupid penalties, like taking the 12-man on defense penalty because you couldn't get set up coming out of a timeout already. Almost had to, they're trying to take 2 timeouts in a row. And I'm like, what? Like, you just took a timeout. You're trying to take another one? Like, just stupid, Bri. Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, this was one for the ages. The past years, the talent has been comparable, and it was like, well, Michigan's, like you said, Michigan was just on their run, and they figured something out. Harbaugh figured out something about Ryan Day or about, let's just overpower, let's just bully Ohio State. Because Ohio State, Michigan and Ohio State have now developed different characteristics, different identities. Michigan's the team that will punch you in the face, run it down your throat, and not have the flashy quarterback, not have the flashy receivers, and it's been working for them. And Ohio State's the team with C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields. Jay's telling me how Jeremiah Smith is going to be the next greatest wide receiver coming out, and they're going to talk about wide receiver Marvin Harrison, and like, it's great. These guys are uber talented, but in this one game, for whatever reason, the more physical team wins. And so as long as Ohio State is putting emphasis, and now they did change it up. They did try to change up their identity a little bit this year with Judkins and with TreVeyon Henderson. Like, they're 2 of the top 10 running backs in the whole country this year. And so they were trying to maybe prepare themselves because, again, Ryan Day had it in his mind that let's just outrush them, be more physical than them, and we'll have a chance at victory, if not guarantee it. But then, they did have some injuries on the offensive line. And like I said, Michigan's strength was their defensive tackles. So even if at full strength, they might have struggled. But with some backups in there, they didn't find any success at all running the ball. So, back to the drawing board now. This doesn't mean that Ohio State is done and they can't win a national title, because they're not going to have to play any super uber physical teams. Now, Michigan cannot throw the ball. They still can't throw the ball. So the fact that that they did win the game, it's still surprising to me as a Michigan fan. Because I'm not in love with our head coach. I don't think he got fortunate that Ohio State only put up 10 points, and that allowed him to play the offense he did. Otherwise, he might have got blown out if they got up to a big lead. But this, unfortunately for me, guy who doesn't like Sherrone Moore a ton, that kind of lengthens his leash, because he said he's 2-0 against Ohio State. As much as I think it's all smoke and mirrors.
We'll trade. You can take Ryan Day, and we'll take Sherrone Moore.
I still contend that Ryan Day is probably a better coach than Sherrone Moore is, at least at this point.
Oh my God.
Now, Sherrone Moore might develop into something. He's still very young, but yeah, beating Ohio State is going to lengthen his leash. He's got the number 1 recruit in the country coming in next year. That's going to lengthen his leash, give him more time. So, yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, for you and the diehard Buckeye fans, you want to beat Michigan every year, and you're happy, you're content beating them 20 years in a row or whatever. But really, for the rivalry, if you want to consider it a great rivalry, this had to happen. You have to still be 2 top teams, and one team now has gotten the other team's number in several years in a row now. So yeah, it's just you need to exchange blows. If it's all one-sided, it's not much of a rivalry. So yeah, I think this is great for the rivalry. This year, the talent discrepancy in the 2 teams kind of brought down the game. But as far as the game goes, while you're watching it, and people talking that, hey, Michigan's hanging around, I mean, you couldn't help but rush to your TV and want to watch the end of that game.
All right, we got to get off this before I blow gasket. Next week, Brad, we'll talk. Next week, we'll talk college football playoffs, okay? Because that's when they'll start. They're doing the rankings right now.
Yeah, I think so tonight.
And the one thing that I hate about all this, Bry, is, yes, Ohio State's still going to be in the playoffs. I don't think they can keep Ohio State out of the playoffs. I mean, yes, that loss
I don't think so. No,
Michigan is bad. It all depends on where you're going to rank at, and especially your 2 losses. One's to Michigan and one's to the number 1 team in the nation. So it's like, it's a rivalry game and the number 1 team. The only thing that I got upset about, though, Bry, is Michigan ruined a Big Ten championship that would have looked really good, Ohio State and Oregon again, and ruined Ohio State's chances to be the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs. And, whatever. It is what it is. Ohio State's going to be in playoffs, but like Jay even put out the poll, as a Ohio State fan, would you rather beat Michigan or win the national championship? Bry, it both should be on that. I mean, yes, the national championship is the goal every year, but man, losing to Michigan the way we did, Bry, like it would have been different if it would have been like a last-second field goal or just something stupid and fluky and been like, well, we had them, but they came back. No, they just beat you. You beat us, Bry. You beat us. That's all I can say. You beat us.
I'm just as surprised as you are, to be honest.
Hey, I want you to feel this in Medina, because I know you're in Medina right now. Good job, Bry. You guys won. There's a high five, buddy.
Yep. Don't got to apologize when you win. But yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, this is great for the rivalry. And it's just going to ramp everything up for next year as well.
Yeah,
and the fact that
bad next year.
What's that?
It's going to intensify so bad next year.
Well, and so I mentioned Michigan's got the number 1 quarterback. The number 2 quarterback's going to Ohio State. And the number 1 kid going to Michigan is from Michigan. And the 2 kid going to Ohio State is from Ohio. So,
where's he at in Ohio?
I want to say like Bell Fountain or something, which I don't know exactly where that's out.
Oh, yeah, that's over in the west. It's over towards Wapakoneta and all them. So that's over on the Lima area.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, you infuse, Bell Fountain, maybe that's it. Yeah, you infuse these programs with these stud quarterbacks from the state. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's going to really amp stuff up, right?
There's a lot of kids from the state. Like,
before we move on, you go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought.
I mean, the kids from the state, like Jack Sawyer, he is the one that caused the most ruckus because he is from the state. This is his 4th year. It's his senior year. Hasn't beat Michigan, which I feel bad for him. But, like, that's the kid that was going the most insane during all this because he's from Ohio. He grew up with the tradition of that. And trying to relay that to kids from Florida, Texas, and all that, it's hard to do, Brian. But when you get people in state that know what it means in state, it's something different. Add something gritty to it. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you your thoughts on the Ohio State coaching situation. Do you think Are you one of these crazed fans that says get rid of Ryan Day before they play a playoff game? Are you kind of reassess after the season? Are you?
I am okay. I cannot let this loss overview the whole season, because the goal was a national championship, and you're still trying to win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
But am I upset with Ryan Day losing to Michigan 4 years in a row? Yes. Oh my God.
Sure.
Yes. Oh my God. I wanted him fired after that game, just in the spur of the moment. But I'm sitting here thinking about it. I look at the big picture. I understand what he is. I understand what he brings. But there's got to be a nice conversation after this year, whether they win the championship or not, with Ryan Day going, dude, you have to do something about Michigan. You cannot lose to them now 5 years in a row. Cannot happen, man. Like it's just a thing. Like Brian, this is how coaches get fired. Rich Rod got fired because he couldn't beat Ohio State. Your big burly bear got fired because he couldn't beat Ohio State. Harbaugh's name was on the hot seat because he could not beat Ohio State. Was it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now
Rich Rod got fired just because the team was terrible under his watch.
Hey, let's throw a 3-3-5 out there in the Big Ten. See how well that works.
Ohio State losing to Ohio State didn't help the fact, but just having the team in such turmoil was definitely the big part of it. Okay, so do you think what if Ryan Day makes it to the national title game and loses? Is that bring him back or no?
I think you still reassess at the end of the season. I think you got to take a good hard look.
Depends how it goes.
And also what coaches are available, Bri. You also got to think that too.
Give me your wish list for your top three. Your wish list, realistic, like Jim Tressel's not coming back. But.
No. Vrabel would be nice, but Vrabel is not going to go to college. I would love Vrabel. Campbell, the coach at Iowa State, I'd love to bring him back to Ohio. I think he is a really good coach, and what he's done at Iowa State, it's Iowa State. Just put it this way.
Right.
They've been bowl relevant and everything else. And then probably, and I know he hasn't had a good year at all, but I bring another Ohio guy in. Hey, Fickle, I know you've been up in Wisconsin and everything else. Why don't you come back?
Sure.
But if you're really going to either that or even PJ Fleck. I like PJ Fleck.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a good coach, especially there in Minnesota. Give him an actual – I'm not saying Minnesota's not a big program, but he's done well with Minnesota. And see what he can do with a bigger program. But those would be my wish list. But I don't think they will fire Ryan Day. I honestly don't think they will. But and Hartline, everybody's saying Hartline, and Hartline's right now a wide receiver coach and barely an offensive coordinator. I get it. I'm not sold on Hartline yet because Hartline hasn't taken anything else other than Ohio State. He hasn't coached anywhere else. Like Fickle took that step and went to Cincinnati and then went to Wisconsin. Campbell went from MAC schools to Iowa State. Like it's pretty much that was my big thing about Ryan Day taking over Ohio State. It was like Urban picked his guy saying, this guy's going to coach after me, instead of them going through the whole coaching search process.
Well, and I heard something that said it might be difficult for them to get rid of Ryan Day just because of the financials that are involved. Like the boosters are tapped out. Like they don't, they can always find a couple more million to give to a player, but we're talking about maybe, I don't know exactly, $30 to $50 million to get rid of Ryan Day and his staff, that buyout. And I don't know if they have the kind of cash to do that.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. James asked if you want to lose his wide receiver recruiting. Obviously, James, it doesn't matter because they didn't show up for the Ohio State Michigan game. So I don't know what you want me to do. Like, you can bring in every 5-star recruit you can, but when you don't have the offensive line to block for your quarterback, when you don't have the quarterback to throw to your wide receivers, you're going to have a problem. And showed its ugly head this week. And 37 million, James said. 37 million.
37 million, right? So,
Ugh.
I mean, that's almost twice what the roster costs them now. So, I don't
And
know.
you said-
I don't
hey.
know if it's possible, but maybe.
You said you didn't want to go an hour and a half, and look at us now. We're at 50 minutes right now, Bry.
Well, we can breeze through the Brown. Well, it was Michigan, Ohio State, you know. I got
And we don't-
32% here. We're good.
All right, so let's get into the Browns, buddy. Browns lost Monday Night Football. Bry, it was a fun game. I'm not saying it wasn't a fun game. It was fun all around. Jameis Winston, 500 yards. Jerry Jeudy, over 200 yards receiving. Puts him close to, I think he's over 1,000 now for the season, or close to it. And then Elijah Moore. The only thing that really sucked this game was we had no running game, and Bry, our kicker, has got some problems, buddy, and not like a little bit, but when you throw for, what was it, 57 times, 58 times, and you only run for 22 times, there's a little bit of a gap there. Really concerned about our run game right now, Bry. What do you think?
Oh, I've been concerned with our run game all season long. We've gone something like 20 games since we've had a 100-yard rusher. So, yeah, I mean, it worked out well for us yesterday. The fact that that we can just throw the ball, and the defense knows you're going to throw the ball, and they still can't stop you. But a lot of times, if you get defensive ends that can just pin their ears back and drop 6, 7 guys into coverage, that's usually not going to end well for you. You need that balance. So, yeah, it's disappointing to see what's happened to this run game that was a couple years ago the best in the league. And I don't know if it's just players getting older, players returning from injury not being the same, or if it's the system. I think it's maybe a mixture of both, but I'd like to see, also we've talked about it time and time again, the loss of Bill Callahan and just his importance to the
Offensive
run
line
game.
did good, though. Offensive line did great.
Yeah, they're finally getting healthy and coming off this mini bye. This is probably about as healthy as they've been. And Fetty, it's looking good at left tackle. And so,
I mean, he wasn't great, but he held his own. I mean, it's a lot better than Jed Wills out there staring at people running by him.
Right. And I think Conklin's still playing well, but he kind of had a rough night. I think that defensive end is just, I've never really heard of him. I forget what the heck his name was, Bonnet or something, Monet, or I don't know. He was having a good amount of success against Conklin and getting pressure on Winston. But yeah, just the run game, it's no surprise. I don't know if Jameis just gets tired in the fourth quarter, but going back to last week with the Steelers, 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. Thank goodness we had such a big lead that he was able to keep us in the game and then have that game-winning drive. And then this past week, 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter that really, what's that?
Do you think he's just trying to push it too much in the fourth quarter? Is that what it is? Like he's not taking what's there in front of him and he's trying to push it too much?
I think with Jameis, you're playing with fire, and like you let him throw it 60 times, he's going to eventually throw some interceptions. And I think there was even a couple that maybe Denver didn't get their hands on, but had they just been like a step quicker reacting to it, they would have been an interception. And that one that was returned for a touchdown in the fourth quarter, that was such high risk, low reward throw, like that out to the wide side of the field. If he catches it, if it's a perfect throw and it right on time and he catches it, it's a 5-yard gain.
Yeah.
But if anything goes wrong and he threw it behind him just a little bit, it's an easy interception. And then you just hope that your guys are in position to touch him down, and we weren't. And so he returns it for a touchdown. Pretty much at that point, game over. So yeah, I think that all goes back to just not being able to run the ball. Like, when you run the ball, you put the ball in a safe position when you're throwing it, especially with Jameis Winston throwing these out routes. It's dangerous. You're just asking for trouble sometimes, and eventually it's going to catch up to you, and it did. And it's I don't want to take too much away from Jameis and put the blame all on him, but yeah, it's what these guys are. If Jameis Winston didn't throw interceptions, he would be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like, if we could just somehow bring Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston together and create one quarterback, he would be a top 5 guy, because Jameis is unbelievable in what he can do, and Deshaun, despite all the terrible things he doesn't turn the ball over. But that's what makes Jameis so great, is he's willing to make take these chances, and it's just unbelievable. But just we threw it a couple too many times, and it was just, I don't know if he's just tired. Maybe the altitude had something to do with it. I don't know, but eventually it's just going to catch up with you, and it did.
Well, I mean, when you throw it 57 times, Bry, I mean, he's not a college kid anymore. Let's just put it that way. He's not a college kid anymore. One little stat that I love, because I love taking my digs at Deshaun Watson, because I can't wait till he's gone off this team. Bry, the receiving yards from Jerry Jeudy, I believe it was 237 he ended up having as receiving yards.
235.
235. Guess what? Deshaun Watson hasn't thrown that yet.
I mean, the offense looks completely different.
Like, it's unreal.
Yes.
The only thing that, like I said, the only thing I don't like is this 3-to-1 ratio of pass to run. Like, they look like they're wanting to run the ball at the beginning, and Chubb and Ford, and then they just stopped. And it was like, okay, we're not even running it anymore. I'm like, I don't get that, Brian. I mean, Chubb had 9 carries. Ford had 9
yards. 9 carries for 20 yards. You can't just keep doing that unless you're Michigan.
I understand that, Bry. But also, you had a quarterback throw for 60 times. You could at least give him 15 carries and kind of take the load off of the quarterback for a little bit. It wasn't like this game was out of reach at any point in time. I mean, it was a good game all the way through. Like, you could have, mixed it up a little bit more. And I'm done with Kadarius Toney and the sleeps, and I just can't watch that anymore. Brian, we do have to talk about our kicker, though. Brian, our kicker's got the yips right now, buddy. And I'm not feeling confident about Dustin Hopkins the way I was last year or at the beginning of this season. Not looking good right now. And I don't know what his problem is, Brian, but he missed another field goal. What is it, because he's got the contract? I mean, I don't know. Like, we thought for once, there's 2 things that we haven't had in Cleveland since, one was Phil Dawson. We haven't had a kicker in I don't know how long, but also a quarterback. And I felt like we got our kicker. Do we still have our kicker, or do we need to start looking for a new one?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if fans really believe it or not, but there's 5 good kickers in the NFL. Everyone else there might not even be 5. There might be 3 good kickers in the NFL. Everyone else is just, the kicker's such a fickle position. You do great one year, and then you're down the next year, and then you might go on a streak where for 8 games you don't miss a kick. And then the next 3 games, you missed 3 kicks. So it's just, he was up last year. He was better than what he was. We paid him all this money. And now this year, he's probably a little worse than what he was. I mean, there's a reason that he was available to the Browns last year. Yeah. Because he was just viewed as an average kicker, maybe a little below average. And then he just caught lightning in a bottle, and he was magic. And so I feel like that's just the kicking position. You don't really, you almost luck into finding one, and you just hope that he's consistent for multiple years, and you just hope that when he does hit his cold streak, that he doesn't cost you games. And I mean, frankly, I think Hopkins has cost us game. If he was perfect this year, or near perfect this year, we might have 2, maybe 3 more wins, because, you think it's just 3 points, but that changes the whole trajectory of the game and how you're viewing in the fourth quarter. If you're down 8 or 5, or, you're down 2 as opposed to 5 or whatever, just how you attack a defense and just all that. And so, yeah, he's struggling right now. And I don't know if there's an easy fix to it. It's just, it's like golf. It's all in the head,
Mhm.
Justin Thomas was one of the best golfers in the world, and all of a sudden now he's not. And who can explain it other than it's just mental stuff?
Yeah. All right, bro. We got Pittsburgh coming up this week. I do have an announcement. Kansas City Chiefs game, which is the following week, December 15th, I believe, right? Right.
Either.
Mac for Mutts, Top Dog Tailgate. $25 donations. Right now, you get some mac and cheese, beer, everything you want to drink. They're also looking for mac and cheese entrance to the mac and cheese cook-off for Mac for Mutts. They're looking for super macs and regular macs and cheese. Regular mac and cheese is just mac and cheese. Whatever cheese you want, just regular mac. Super mac is the fun stuff. It is the chili mac and cheese. It's the smoked brisket and mac and cheese. It's the jalapeno cheddar and mac and cheese. All that stuff. They're looking for contestants to enter, so please help them out. Bri, what are you doing next weekend? You want to go down to the Kansas City Chiefs game and try some mac and cheese with me?
I'll be there. I'm going to the game.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be tailgating too?
Yep. Where? I don't know, but yep. Me, the wife, her friend. I'll be there. Looking for Taylor Swift. I'll stop in. Like I said, I don't. So I guess the issue now is the guys I usually tailgate with, they're at Burke, but when it starts getting colder out, they don't always go tailgate every single game. Sometimes they just go to a bar or something. Then my wife's cousin tailgates on the other side, not in the pit, but like further past the pit. So like,
oh wow, they're past the pit.
Yeah, like or by the RTA station, I think. So they're on the west side. So I got east side, west side, and then what?
Western Summit is right there.
Right in the middle. Right
in the middle.
So I might already got the babysitter lined up, so we'll be down there early.
Okay, because let me know, because he's also looking for some judges, buddy. And he wants some ham boys to try some mac and cheese.
Oh, I better start sampling some mac and cheese now to get my taste buds right.
There it is. I'm pretty sure Nick Wilson will be there also as a judge.
Oh, that's right. A couple years ago. Yeah, that's where you were with Nick.
Yep, he's been there every year. I did not do it last year. I took a break last year because I got some other stuff going on. But talk to the wife and Bri. I might see you down tailgating.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I would love that. That'd be great.
All right, so
sure, you probably find a ticket to the game. Sneak down, sit with us.
I would love that. I would talk to the wife. I got to
probably find a cheap ticket. Yeah, I would think.
Hey, please, I'm going to sit up with the 537 boys. If I'm hanging out with Ice Cube all the time. I'm going to be up in the nosebleeds just puking off the railing.
Sounds like a good Browns time to me.
Sounds like a great Browns time to me, especially against Kansas City.
Yeah,
all right, Bri. So we still have to do our picks. We are playing the Steelers. Bri, do you think they can double dip? Do you think they can take out the Steelers again in Pittsburgh?
Boy.
Where are we at on our stats right now? I'm in the lead.
Right? That's a good question. I believe you're still in the lead by at least. I did a game on you last week because I had Denver, but I think you're still up 1, maybe 2.
Okay.
So let me double check that. Yeah, you know me. I didn't have a ton of confidence in the Browns last week or last time they played Pittsburgh. I almost regretted picking the Browns. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to regret picking the Browns, but I'm going to pick the Browns. Both offenses are just juggernauts right now. And now we played one of the best defenses in the league. The Pittsburgh Steelers played the Bengals, which is one of the worst defenses in the league, but we both had tremendous success. So I'm going to go maybe a little higher scoring. Say Browns 30. Steelers, what? They're going to get 1 touchdown and like 6 field goals. So what's that?
1 touchdown.
18-24.
24. Yeah.
30-24. Browns.
Hold on. It's 18 plus 7.
No. 25.
Yeah. 25.
30-25.
30-25. Bri, I am not going to lie. I'm not going to pick the Steelers on this one. I can't. It's the Steelers. I hope the Browns kick the shit out of them again.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to have some fun with this because, hey, Bri, Jameis loves to eat those W's.
Yep.
I'm going to go Browns 31 and Steelers 17.
Boy, I love that. Take it.
I'd take that to the bank. Ruin their season. Just ruin it. Obviously, we're not going anywhere. Ruin everybody else's season.
Right.
All right, Brian, let's get into, let's see here. What time we got? You got enough time for a little bit of Fat Boy Tuesday and then
let's get a quick Fat Boy Tuesday. It's just Thanksgiving stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's Thanksgiving
Yep.
stuff.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
It is time for Fat Boy Tuesday, and I still cannot thank him enough for that sound. God, he's so good. Bob in Millersburg, so good. So good. All right, so Fat Boy Tuesday, we did have Thanksgiving, Bri. What was your Thanksgiving like? What was your time like during Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was great. Well, it started Wednesday night. Went to On Tap here, met up with some family that was in town, and then we went out to the bars in Medina. My brother was in town, sister-in-law, met up with them, my uncle, cousins. So we had a great time at PJ Marley's in Medina. Then we ended up at JoJo's. Had some karaoke, so your boy had to get down at some karaoke. And then, so that was a later night, midnight, or so. Of course, that's when the baby chose to wake up at 5 o'clock the next morning. So I went to bed about 12:30, and she got me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I guess that's
how it works.
That's a little payment to me for thinking that I'm 21 years old again.
Bri, that's when you got to double down. That's when you get baby bottle, you get a bottle. Let's do it again. And
so
when Ashley comes down in the morning,
fell back asleep.
Ashley comes down in the morning and you're both passed out with bottles around you, she could just walk away.
So Thursday we went down to my wife's. They have a big, huge family, probably 50 or 60 people. They rent out a hall, and so we were there for just a couple hours. Got to spend some good time with them. That was kind of like the only real Thanksgiving Day feast that I had, like your traditional Thanksgiving feast. Was Thursday afternoon.
Do they not normally do? Is it Christmas or Thanksgiving? Do they not normally do like the?
No, yeah, Christmas. Yeah, now
Christmas,
that you mention it, they used to. I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to just do like spaghetti on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
spaghetti and meatballs. So all the fixings, all the good stuff, everything that you could possibly imagine. Everyone just brings a dish. My wife made macaroni and cheese, like the spiral, not the corkscrew ones, but the fancy. It looks like macaroni elbows, but it's real spirally. Oh, really good.
Is she entering a mac and cheese and the Mac for Mutts?
It's a good question. I should tell her. Absolutely.
Because she could win a nice ribbon and have a couple drinks.
She could be the. I have a feeling that she would have more success in the traditional mac and cheese than the special kind, because a lot of times she's not a fan of the spice. Okay, I'll let her know. Hey, I was eating mac and cheese for a couple days after for leftovers, so I wouldn't complain about that at all.
No, God, no, you can't complain about that.
And then so after that, we were only there for a couple hours because we had to scoot to my families so I could make it there for the Turkey Bowl. And this year, the Turkey Bowl was inside for the first time ever because my one cousin, Jen and Seth, built this giant like barn / building. So we played the football game indoors. So it was a blast doing that. My team lost, definitely the highest Turkey Bowl because we're playing inside rather than outside. Final score was like 49-35 or something. So I was on the losing end of that, unfortunately. So did that. Then after that, we went to my mom's and just kind of hung out with my brother, his family, my mom, just kind of appetizers, whatnot, just hanging out until baby had to go to bed at like 9:00. So that was it. And then Friday, we just went and got a Christmas tree. And Saturday, instead of doing our big, giant, traditional Thanksgiving dinner with my mom's family, we all got together for the Michigan-Ohio State game. Me being the lone black sheep. Well, now that I have Madison,
Yeah,
she was
saw
wearing
that.
her Michigan gear too. So, so there's two of us now.
Hey, she thought that game was so interesting too because the picture you sent me, she was zonked out like a crazy. And I was like, Ashley, come on, you cannot do that to me, Ashley. And she's holding. I saw the Ohio State gear holding the baby, and I'm like, you cannot do this, Ashley.
That was my aunt. Ashley
Okay.
wore neutral colors, so just because. Well, she didn't want to get on my bad side. So she was wearing neutral colors, even though she teases me all the time about being a giant Ohio State fan. So we did that, and so I did channel my dad powers, and I put my hand on her head. One key play, I said, "Come on, bring me good luck." And you know what play it was? It was the play where Mullins hit I think it was a third down where he bounced it outside and he got like 30 yards or something.
Yes,
that was the one play. And I even gave up on
like
it.
13.
Yeah, I even gave up because I placed my hand on her head. I go, "Come on, here we go. Give me some good luck."
Right.
And I see him like running to the line, and I think I thought they tackled him. So I'm like, "Oh, that didn't work." And then I start walking away, and I look back at the TV, and he's bouncing it out, and he's just going, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!"
I can't even be mad at it now that I know that was Maddie luck.
That was her. That was her for sure.
BS.
So we just did a bunch of Thanksgiving. Well, not even Thanksgiving, just a bunch of appetizers. I mean, that's right up my alley. Everyone just brings like an appetizer, buffalo chicken dip, Reuben dip. There was pizza. There was those.
You got Reuben dip?
Yeah, Reuben dip. There was my wife made spinach artichoke dip. No, we didn't have that. We usually do that. The little pretzel nugs with the cheese sauce. Yeah, that was fantastic. So really good time, especially for me.
What was the best food of the entire weekend? What was your top dinner that you kept going back for?
It was, so there were at the Michigan-Ohio State game, there was 2 buffalo chicken dips, and one of them I just couldn't get enough of. It wasn't even super spicy.
Okay.
The other one even had cheese on it. This was just plain kind of buffalo chicken dip, you would think, but it just tasted so good because it was a little sweet too. There was a little sweetness to it, and so mixed with the round. I know it's kind of a boring answer, but yeah, I kept going back for it.
No, for us, we went down to West Virginia. It started Tuesday because Hope made all the pepperoni rolls that I showed here. And by the way, if you want to go see one of those pepperoni rolls, go back to our last episode. Bri, those did not last long at all. I'm pretty sure half of them got eaten up before we even got to West Virginia. But no, it was a good time, and we brought the turkey. We had a over 18-pound bird that we brought down. And then everybody kind of brought stuff. So we had Allie brought stuffing and sweet taters with marshmallows on top. Not a fan of that, but she knows that I like the regular sweet taters, so she got me those. And then we had mashed potatoes, canned fresh green beans, Oh, that was so good. And it was the good green beans too. We had no green bean casserole, but we had the green beans where you threw in the bacon with the onions in it and everything else, and you kind of just cooked it all together. But the one that stole the show, and I actually have a bag of it in my freezer right now because I'm about to bust that thing out at some point in time for something special, is after we got done cooking the turkey, I'm the one carving it up and getting everything out. And my sister-in-law, Jonna, goes, I need you to pour that entire pan of juice into this pot. I'm like, okay. Bri, it was like a cooking pot. Like, it was a good size cooking pot. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm making gravy. I'm like, shut up. Bri, hands down, some of the best turkey gravy I have ever had. Like, it was perfect. And it was, I mean, still chunks of turkey in it and just all the, oh, Bri, it was so damn good. And I kept going back with like rolls and just dunking it in the turkey gravy and just, oh my God, it was so good. So I got a bag of it that I brought home with me.
Sweet.
She goes, you want to take some of this? I'm like, hell yes, I want to take some of this. But no, it was a great time. We played a lot of games, and Chris, I'm sorry, buddy. Facebook kind of screwed up on us tonight. I told Brian about your trifecta.
Chris, well done, sir.
But yeah, it was just a nice low key Thanksgiving, and Brian, we had a blast. I was happy for my wife because we don't go down there that often on the big holidays, and we were able to, and we got to see everybody. Everybody came over, which was a bonus. And have you ever played Tapple? Have you seen the game Tapple?
Don't know if Tapple.
Okay, so Tapple is a game, and it's got a round disc in the middle, and then on the outside it has letters that you kind of push down. And what you do is you draw a category, and you have to use the letters to start out everything. And then you pass it on, and once you run out, you get the card, and that's how you kind of win the game. Brian, that got evil for a little bit in that family because we had 8 people playing, and we were doing like TV shows. Brian, we were bringing up like He-Man and shit. Like it was G.I. Joe, the American hero, was brought up. Like it was crazy, but we had a blast, and it was good.
Sweet.
It was really good time, and I loved it. And Brian, my favorite food is definitely the turkey gravy, but also my niece's stuffing. Allie made stuffing, and she came over, had all the breadcrumbs and everything in, and she made it right there in front. She goes, I need 2 sticks of butter. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She goes, it's not ready yet. I got to put it in the oven. And she cut up 2 sticks of butter, put it in the stuffing, and then poured some chicken broth and a little bit of turkey juice over the stuffing, and then threw it in the oven and pulled it out. Pretty
good, huh?
So good. So good. That's what I love about Thanksgiving. And I can't wait because I'm probably going to have it for work again tomorrow. Because you know how we do. Probably going to have it for the next 3 months, but I'll be okay with that. But Thanksgiving is one of my favorites because it's turkey. Yeah, you can have turkey sandwiches whenever you want, but that kind of turkey, you only get it once a year, and just eat it up. And it's so good. So good. All right, Brian. Let's finish out our show. That was Fat Boy Tuesday. If you guys have any Thanksgiving foods that you loved, throw them here in the comments. Catch the video afterwards. I'll try to respond as best I can. But it is time for our top 3, Brian, and then we will finish out everything else. And we're going to do our top 3 wide receivers since 1999. All right, here we go, Bri. You want to do your top 3 first? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll be quick. Maybe out of the spirit. Maybe I'm getting caught up in the weekend. But number 3, DPJ.
Okay, I
understand. Probably figure that out. Number 2, Jarvis Landry.
Okay.
Love is just infectious personality. Right. Just everything that he brought. And number 1, Braylon. I was so excited when they drafted him, and after his unbelievable 1 year. I was really pumped, and then sent him packing and never heard from him again. So, but not getting caught up in the moment. I remember how much I still have a Braylon Edwards jersey somewhere in this house.
All right, number 3 for me, the 1 year of Terrell Pryor, because
okay.
Hey, Brian, what an athlete to be basketball, football, and then switch from quarterback to wide receiver and then get over 1,000 yards as a wide receiver.
Crazy.
Yeah. Terrell Pryor, number 3. Number 2, I'm with you, Juice. Juice was the man. Just charisma, everything, just the way he brought himself. And then Brian, number 1 for me, and it just feels weird. My first Browns win that I have ever seen was with this wide receiver and Kevin Johnson. Since 1999, KJ, baby.
Yep.
Loved watching that win. Let's see here. Does Josh Quibbs qualify? He does.
Oh, man. I didn't even think of Cribbs. He probably would have been my number 3.
What was the other guy from Miami that was our kick returner / wide receiver?
University of Miami?
Yeah. He came from the U. At least I thought he came from the U. Benjamin. Last name Benjamin.
Travis Benjamin?
Travis Benjamin.
Yeah. Did he come from the U? I can't remember now.
I thought he came from the U.
He may have. Yeah.
All right. So there's our top 3. Now, Brian, let's finish off our trivia tonight. All right. Trivia brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. We still have Ashland in there. I'm not bringing up the pictures. You need to get a dog out of City Dogs Cleveland.
Yeah,
first.
come on now.
The holidays, go get a puppy from City Dogs Cleveland. Give it to your wife or kids or friends or neighbors or just whatever. Go get a dog from City Dogs Cleveland. Brian, top 2. Njoku is 3.
Njoku's 3. Chubb is 1.
Chubb is 1.
Right.
Who is after Chubb?
Well, trying to think of running backs that just had long careers with the Browns. I went Isaiah Crowell. And I didn't have much confidence in that.
Kareem Hunt.
Get out of here, really?
Kareem Hunt is 2nd in total touchdowns with like 32.
Wow, that's wild.
Let me pull up my, hold on here. Yeah, he has 32 total touchdowns with the Browns.
Huh. Okay.
Nick Chubb is 56. David Njoku is 29.
Wow, 56 to 32. What a gap.
What a gap. But also, hey, think about it. Kareem Hunt didn't play as much as Nick Chubb. And still to get 32 touchdowns as a Brown for a short time here. All right. Now, Bri, Njoku is the top of receivers. With 29, who are the next 2 behind him?
Was Kellen Winslow one?
Nope.
Golly. Just trying to think of guys that had long careers with the Browns. Jarvis?
Jarvis was 8th total.
8th. Cooper?
Nope.
Gordon?
Nope.
Braylon Edwards had 16 in 1 year. So Braylon
was 4th. That was a record that was broken. Braylon Edwards had 28 receiving touchdowns. David Njoku had 29.
Okay, so Braylon was 2nd on the receiving touchdowns list.
Yes.
Gotcha. So you're still looking for the 3rd on receiving touchdowns list?
Yes.
Kevin Johnson played for a while, so we'll go with him.
KJ was 3rd.
Oh, nice. All right.
So, Bri, your top 5 in total touchdowns for your Cleveland Browns: Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, David Njoku, Braylon Edwards, Kevin Johnson, Isaiah Crowell.
Oh, he was 6.
Josh Quibbs, Jarvis Landry, and Amari Cooper round out the top.
Cooper's 9. Oh, wow.
And
okay, good list.
Can you believe Isaiah Crowell had 22 touchdowns?
He's the forgotten guy. I'm telling you, that's why I guessed him. Like, I remember he was here for at least like 3 seasons. So all you need is like 8 or 9 a season.
Yeah. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to Illegal Hand to the Face. We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you do. Also, the guys out plowing snow for us here in Cleveland. Thank you guys so much. Brian, why don't you God bless them?
Yep. God bless you. God bless America.
Catch us on Network 216 and all of our socials at Ham Illegal. And we will definitely see you guys next week. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. See ya.